One of the things that stuck out to me was you said you didn't think that you had what it takes to be a scientist. So I think then that's where you made a pivot, right? What do you mean by that? At the time, what were the variables that you were considering when you thought of a life as a scientist versus a life in a career in the big bad world, as you put it?
Yeah, a number of factors probably came into play. My mother was always anxious about money. She came from quite a poor background, tenant farming things, and then was really bright and did well. But there was a part of me that said, I don't want to get into a position where I'm worrying about money all the time. And the way I looked at it at the time, it seemed like you were having to chase grants every 18 months. And I have friends. I have a very good old friend, and she's a professor of immunology and has done brilliantly in her career. And I think I had the intellectual capabilities doing it. It's whether I had the stomach to deal with the fact that I could be quite poor for a lot of the time and just about to start a family. I'd met the love of my life and we were talking about starting a family, and I thought, I just don't want that stress. And maybe I didn't think I had the stomach to do the kind of things my friend does, which is just this dogged focus on this one area. And I made a choice, and it sounds like I'm regretting it, but I don't think I do really regret it because I think it was right for me. And it gave me, I still got a lot of intellectual stimulation because I was always being thrown into these really difficult challenges. So in a way, I got that intellectual stimulation, and I maintained, obviously not a research level, but I maintained an interest in science, which has come back to be useful later in life with some of that climate change stuff and so forth. But so, yeah, it was a choice, and it was a difficult choice, and I probably cried for 2 days.
Oh, I just had a conversation about this the other day, but it's easy to look back on moments like that with rose-colored glasses. And I know you're not saying like you regret it, but like to play the what-if game. But I'm sure that you made the best choice you could with the information that you had at the time, considering the variables at the time. And to me, it seems like life is messy and life can be complicated and it's not as linear as we would like it to be. And that was a practical choice to propel you and your family forward, considering all the variables at the time.
Yeah.
I do think that it's so much of our experience. I use AI a lot and for a bunch of different random things. And I was doing some reflecting on the podcast. And like, I think I've published like 34 episodes so far. And I was these conversations are with people from different domains and different backgrounds. And the conversations all have the same through line, but we get there differently. And one of the things, like, I think it was Notebook Up, and I had to analyze the podcast every episode. And it said, I'm obsessed with inputs. And I think it's spot on because your input or some of your inputs from when you were growing up was your mother's anxiety around financial stability because of her background. That's an input. That input shaped how you think about things and how you approach the world and how you make decisions. And that's not to say that's right or wrong. It just comes back to inputs. And that's like these conversations I find enlightening why I do it. But I just find it fascinating that the environments that we're in, the information that we take in, shape then who we become. And I think it's a superpower for those of us who can like reflect on that and understand how we got to where we're at, because I don't think that ability is lacking probably in the general population, just as an aside.
Yeah, the examined life and all that.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed that clip, the full episode is available here. Go on, press it.